Good evening, I'm Jared Schwartz. Billy Gillespie has not been shy about recruiting young players, giving verbal scholarships to 8th and 9th graders. Well, now, the National Association of Basketball Coaches has asked Gillespie and other coaches to back off young talent. And here's what the coach responded to our sister station, WKYT in Lexington.
When it first came out, I think you guys asked me, and I said that I'm a company man or whatever, but I'm not going to get beat up as far as competing. So, you know, you always want to try to do what a coach's organization, which I have a great deal of respect for, asks you to do, but you're not going to be sitting by the wayside while other people are getting ahead of you as far as competition is concerned. So interpret that however you need to.
The All-Star break is over with. The second half of the season begins tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. San Diego Padres are in town with a great pitching matchup at Busch Stadium tonight. Jake Peavy will take on Kyle Loesch, and surprising enough, Loesch has the better numbers with an 11-2 record this year. St. Louis sits at 53-43, good for second place in the NL Central, just 4.5 games behind the leading Chicago Cubs. Well, it seems wherever you turn in the sports world these days, the topic revolves around Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. Favre wants to come back from retirement. Packers have said that's fine, but he will not be the starter on Green Bay. So Favre wants Green Bay to release him. He explains his side of the story to Fox News Channel's Greta Van Susteren.
You know, it's hard for me to trust, this guy. When either I'm told one thing and everyone else is told another, or he's telling the public one thing and telling me another. And that's part of the reason for the release. Not only was I told that playing here was not an option, we're moving on. It's kind of been their company line, moving on. That's okay. That's okay if they want to move on. That's okay, Greta. And I told them that. Mike and I, June 20th, we had a conversation, and I said, I'm thinking about coming back.
To the bank, big right.
Let's hit the links at the British Open first-round play. This is an eagle attempt at the 17th and only the second to go down so far in the first round. The story of the day was the weather, 57 degrees and rainy. Watch the chip shot by Appleyard, and it basically goes nowhere, right back to him. You can see how cool it was by the gear. Greg Norman's approach shot hits the fairway, but suddenly goes into the bunker, as a lot of shots did on this day. Norman did shoot even par, one of the best scorers of the round.
Have a good night's sleep and have a great meal with my wife and with Chrissy, and just take one shot at a time. Honestly, I've got to keep my expectations very, very low. I haven't played a lot of golf. I haven't been under the gun except the Senior PGA Championship. What was at the end of May. So, Judy Rankin and I were talking about it's like riding a bike, but sometimes riding a bike you still get a little wobbly. So you've got to really stay focused, and I like the golf course.
So it's anybody's to win across the pond. There's no Tiger Woods in the field, which I'm sure a lot of players are very excited about. And that's going to do it for sports tonight. More news is coming up in just 2 minutes.